where shadows lie. Here they find a brighter sky. Every step, every mile, they're reaching for the American style. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. Factories hum with a steady grace, ideas born in this boundless space. A light bulb flash, a towering steel in every corner. The promise feels real. From the ground to the stars, we're built on dreams, we're raising bars. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for.
Marvin Divine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
So the Roman's Pizza ad sounds like my music? Well, somebody quickly put in a copyright claim on that for me. Welcome back to the program, folks. It's the Kaffee Klatsch every Sunday when I'm available. I'm not traveling on the road, and I'm available today. So here I am. Welcome back to the program. Here to answer your questions as best I can about the refugees. But a couple things first off I want to talk about popping out. Number one, I just published a video a short while ago. I've received a couple screenshots from people who received a notice from a refugee assistance agency, presumably, or from the federal government. I don't know where, but this message has been passed around by a number of people, some of whom are just freaking out. Also, I find it gobsmacking that I just talked to Mike West, who's a Rhodesian war vet, a SADF vet from the Bush War, who knows who I am. It says everybody that's white in South Africa knows who I am. Yet there are people who are still going to cockprot WhatsApp groups and Facebook pages and South Africans talking to each other as if they know what the hell they're talking about when it comes to refugee resettlement. Now, that doesn't mean that South Africans can't know, but the stuff they're sharing is just all bullshit. And they keep talking about how, they're informed and they watch the news. Well, the news lies to you. How many times do we have to expose the media as lying to people before they begin to get wise and catch on? I mean, honestly, it really is, after me doing this task for 8 months plus now, I'm just gobsmacked that people don't come here to get their information. You get this nonsense. Well, I don't get my information from YouTube. Then why are you watching it? What do you mean you don't get your information from YouTube? Where do you get it from? News 24? The Washington Post? The New York Times? They may be reporting what they call news, but they lack context and fail to share it with you. So again, please show me where I've been wrong and why people aren't coming here. I'm flabbergasted by the whole thing. Anyway, people keep sending me messages about people freaking out. So I didn't ignore it, but I have many things on my plate. Yesterday, I had all of 20 minutes to myself in an 18-hour workday. So that just gives you an idea how little. I haven't even begun to fix my broken cell phone here. I have the parts for it. Anyway, so my point here is that I didn't get around to it. Someone else sent me this message again. I realized it's an issue that I need to address now, getting out in front of. So I talked about the impact of the big, beautiful bill, which is now a law in America since July 4th, and what it does to benefits that refugees get. Well, they get less benefits because Trump is doing this for Americans, not for the world. Some people are going to be upset about that. And some South Africans are spazzing out over it. There's no reason to spaz out over it whatsoever. Colonel, big thanks to my brother, Marnus Durant, who's looking after our house and doggies while we take care of business. All right, Vanna. Thank you for the 140 round super chat. Good to hear from you. Yeah, so why are there ads in live? Well, ads is AD. I think you mistyped there. Rikus, why are there ads? Because YouTube puts them there. So let me explain something before we go any further, okay? Because we got 473 people here. Let me explain something to you all, okay? YouTube is a business. If they don't make money, they don't have servers. They don't have servers, they're not bandwidth, they don't write software, nobody's on YouTube. They have to make money. So I used to have a policy until about a year and a half ago when I talked to Byron Shepard from Morning Shot, and I was in South Africa in Port Elizabeth. We were sitting there and we were chatting about this. I told him my policy on my videos has long been that I will not monetize videos in which someone has suffered grievous harm. I will also not monetize any videos that are less than 5 minutes. I think it's ridiculous to expect someone to watch adverts when you see a video that's less than 5 minutes. Your time is valuable. And a couple minor rules. But basically, and if you go back and you'll see, I never put any advertising on any videos like that, okay? However, Byron made a very good point, and it also, he was correct. YouTube, in part, wasn't just shadow banning me. They weren't promoting videos because I wasn't monetizing the video. So they weren't making money. So back then, 2 years ago, I had a lot of videos weren't getting any views because YouTube wouldn't tell anybody it was there because they weren't making money. Why would they tell you to come watch it and use their bandwidth and download time when they're not making money? Makes sense. But I still stuck to that rule because it's not about clicks and fame. It's about getting a message out there. So I stuck to that rule for another year. And then YouTube decided last year that regardless of what you do as a content creator, we will monetize your channel even if it's not eligible for monetization. Which means, guess where all the money goes? In their pocket. They get 100%. So whether you monetize a video or not, if you're not monetized, say you have a small channel with less than 1,000 subscribers, less than 4,000 hours content, they will put videos on your video if it takes off. They see a video that goes, woo, they're going to latch on, they're going to put videos on there, and they get 100% of the ad revenue. Now, how does that play for me? I'm a monetized channel. It doesn't affect me. However, the rule does still come into play. If I don't monetize my videos, then they won't promote them, and you won't find out about them. So live streams have advertising. If you don't like it, it's YouTube. Sorry about that, but they've got to make money. And I've got to have the opportunity not to be pushed to the side, ignored by YouTube because I'm unwilling to make money. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Ronaldo's here. Ronaldo, you know what I'm talking about. Hey, Ronaldo, did you just do a stream? 500 people right now. So look, again, I did this monetizing this channel, the original channel 5 years ago, 6 years ago almost now, hesitantly. I didn't want to do it because I didn't do this. I was just trying to promote my consultancy. That's all I was trying to do. And my viewers asked and asked and asked. Then they begged. Then they pestered me to monetize the channel. And finally, I did it because people want it. Well, with monetization comes ads. But now, if you're not monetized, they still put ads on there. Why let YouTube have all the money? Yeah, well, you don't have to pay ads if you pay premium. If you go premium and pay them a flat fee, you don't have to watch any ads on YouTube. That's an option. You can cancel your membership on my channel if you've got one and go pay for YouTube Premium. Then you don't pay for ads on any channel, or you don't have to watch any ads. Does that make sense? Anyway, so, by the way, I'm not making any money off ads. A few months ago, I was making a lot of money off ads. But the amount of money I'm making off ads has declined by 85% since May, which means my views have dropped precipitously. Does that make sense? All right, so back to the two stories at hand, okay? So welcome, Ronaldo. Did you send some viewers over here? If you did, I didn't see that, and thank you if you did, Ronaldo. Good to see you again. Ronaldo, I haven't chatted since Wednesday. How long does one normally... Okay, so Ruben Lingenfelder, please, I'm going to explain to you. There is no normal. There's no normal. No normal. There's no such thing as a standard. They have no standard for this program. It's an ad hoc program that was thrown together on the back of an envelope on a shoestring budget, and there is no standard. How long does one normally wait for a second after second interview? Some people don't get so many interviews. Also, does having a booking for the medical mean you're approved? No. Okay, let me explain something. Everybody who's a refugee aspirant, none of you are approved. When you are finally finished with the process, you've done the background checks, you've done the interviews, you've completed your medical. When they've said that we think you're okay, you will receive a provisional approval. You are provisionally approved. You'll get it. You'll say provisional. Now, some people send me a letter. What does this mean? What? It means you're provisionally approved, which means that it can be revoked at any time. Does that make sense? And why would that be the case? Well, if in fact you served in the South African police service in the 1980s and you were credibly accused of human rights violations for murdering Steve Biko, we're not going to let you be a refugee. If you didn't disclose that and we didn't discover it initially, we got you through screening, and then, because we're still doing, by the way, if you think the background checks are done when you get a provisional approval, you're mistaken. We still are doing background checks. We, the U.S. government, not me, I'm not in the government. They still do background checks. They're still checking things out, okay? So it's a provisional approval. And so doing your medical, once you've gotten through the medical, you should get a provisional approval sometime shortly after that, unless there's something that crops up. And a few people have had things crop up. They've had to explain it. Ruben, does that explain and answer your questions? I hope it does, okay? All right. So I got a couple super chats here I got to address here. Let me go back to the beginning, folks, because you all started coming in early. I'm not going to greet everybody. That takes time. I'm looking for questions, so I'm not falling behind the questions. Expat family, enjoy the question with Mike West, the session. Yeah, I'm sorry for the bad technical stuff. We're going to have a poll tonight. I'll think about it. How and with what do you make your video thumbnails? Yeah, I don't mind sharing, Utapi. I used to make them all myself. They weren't particularly good. I'm not a good editor when it comes to making graphics. I mean, it's not my forte. And then I relied on the AI sites coming up. ChatGPT sucks. Gemini was good, but they screwed up the engine, and now it doesn't make landscape, and I prefer landscape. Also, it's very picky. You know, you can say Ramaphosa, you can say Trump, but you say anybody else. Oh, we can't use real people. Trump and Ramaphosa are real people. Why can't I put Ronnie Lamola on there? Anyway, also sometimes like you say, make a picture of South Africans and everybody's black. You say, make a picture of South African refugees, everybody's black. So then they screwed up by changing the engine, and it can't make landscape images anymore. The last time it did, so maybe they fixed it. But for a few weeks, it hasn't been able to make landscape, and that's useless. I need landscape images. There are other ones out there. Canva, I don't like Canva. It doesn't work very well for me. Some people like them. I don't need to spend 20 minutes. Now I'm using one from a different site called vidIQ. I think that's the one I'm using. And it sucked initially. It was terrible. It's suggestions. But now you can put text in, and it will generate the image. That's the one I'm using today because it was much better. All right, so that answers your question. How now the refugees are going to want to hijack your lawn and your pantry? Probably. All right. I can't believe any news from News 24. Exactly. One has to watch more than one news outlet in order to get even account of it. Yep. And then Werner, thank you for that super chat. We have seen and heard people stating on Thursday and Friday they received calls to be ready in 2 to 4 weeks. How do you think RCS will do this with the current shutdown? Okay. Esmery Botha. Being told to be ready doesn't mean you're getting a flight in 2 to 4 weeks. Basically, what that tells me is don't expect to go anywhere before 2 weeks at the earliest. That's what that tells me. So if they're giving you a 2 to 4 week window saying be ready in 2 to 4 weeks, then what that tells me is that they're anticipating. Or when it ends, they anticipate it'll be 2 to 4 weeks. And what did I tell you all from the outset of the lock? That's not a lockdown, the shutdown, the government shutdown. I said that even if things go perfectly well and they sign a continuing resolution and we get back to expending money, it, in my estimation, will take 7 to 10 days before the first refugees who didn't go already will find themselves in America. So that would track with what I said. Does that make sense? See, guys, this is what's the value of having somebody that spent much of their life working inside the bureaucracy of the American government, understands how this Leviathan moves. As opposed to a bunch of South Africans sitting around cock-prodding, or South Africans in America think they know everything about it. They don't know what they're talking about. Anyway. All right. Can't show you that you're wrong, sir. How am I wrong, Dylan? Tell me how I'm wrong. Oh, they can't show me. The White uses the fake headlines from Philip. Oh, the White. The red pen. Huh? Philip, that doesn't make any sense. I think you typed something wrong there. Darlene Stain says, hello, waiting patiently for my turn to set foot in the greener grass. Okay, one step closer. Congratulations, Darlene. And Ronaldo is here. How you doing, Ronaldo? How's it going, man? Since we don't get Snap, can I eat some of your steamed crabs? Well, not if you arrive after the end of October, because that's when they stop running. We don't get crabs from November normally until April. Maybe late March if we're lucky, but usually April. And the April ones are small ones because they're just starting to grow. They're not that big. I'm getting jumbos today. They had a big sale. They've got a lot of crabs in, so the price went down. And it's expensive, but I can afford it today. So I haven't had jumbo in ages. We'll see how they were. I had crabs on Friday. It was very disappointing. They weren't so good. Yesterday I had no time for it. Okay, so Ruben, I answered your question. Let me see if you responded back. Okay. By the way, if somebody wants to make an image of no clowns, we can have, or not no clowns, no King's Day. Make an image of Franklin Delano Roosevelt sitting on a throne with Americans kneeling all around him, and put a big crown on his head, and then write down the 4 dates that he was elected president. He would have served for 16 years. They don't want Donald Trump. They're calling him a king. What the hell was Franklin Roosevelt? He was a king. I think paying premium is worth it. I pay $120 a month for the entire family, 5 accounts, no ads. There you go, Fabian. There you go. And by the way, if you are premium, don't feel bad. I get revenue from that. Not a lot, but I'll take a look. So I get revenue from premium users. Let me see. Where is that? Oh, this is all changed, man. Why is it doing this? It used to show me. It's not doing that. Oh, I know where it's at. I'm looking at the wrong place. I need to look at analytics. Yeah, that's where I need to look. Okay, here we go. Okay, so come on. YouTube Premium generated 7.1% of the income to my channel in the last 28 days. So if you're a YouTube Premium user, I still make money off that. So yeah, don't feel bad because some people are like, I don't want you not to do ad revenue. No, that's fine. my revenue on the channel from May, it looks like this because it shows May at the bottom, but that's the bad end. That's the top. It's more like this. Here's May and here's now. So this is definitely not about the money, folks. Trust me, it's not about the money. Good Lord. Some people think it is. YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok have ads. Some you pay for premium subscription. Premium. Okay. What else got here? So if we go back for the medicals, what can we do about accommodation that side? Okay, that doesn't make any sense to me, Nikki. Go back what? Go back what? Go back to Pretoria, Joburg? I don't understand. Just arrived today. Still not sure how we'll go to the medicals. Nikki, I don't understand your question. Maybe you're out of tech space. Go back what? I presume what you're saying is if you go to Pretoria and you do your interviews and then they call you back later on to go back for medicals and you're asking about accommodation, you have to provide your own accommodation or don't stay overnight. Although I wouldn't recommend driving in Gauteng at night. Veroshka's never seen an ad. Well, look at that. See, I'm getting robbed there. Pig Daddy, what's up? Okay. Who else we got here? All right. Wow, we got a bunch of stuff popped up in here. Oh, Ronaldo's going to go watch Formula One. I bet Anne-Marie Nell is there. And thank you, Ronaldo, for sending your viewers over. It didn't show up on my end that you'd sent viewers, so thank you for that. Ronaldo's interested in the refugee program. I don't think so. He's more interested in the Freedom Front Plus. Okay, you got a Temu ad. Well, I know you're not buying anything from Temu. Pay $200 for no ads. You have to pay for no ads. Exactly. Yeah, no, that's called premium. It's YouTube Premium. That's what I said. A while ago, I said the Colonel will get some rest when the program opens. I do, however, believe that he's getting less sleep. That is correct, Neil. It's far less. I've never had an ad. See, there's another person I'm not getting any ads on. Well, by the way, folks, I do appreciate you guys in South Africa watching my ads. But, I mean, if the audience that I have... By the way, I've told Ronaldo this. I think he knew it already, and I've told a few other content creators. You know, if you have 100,000 subscribers, you're in the 1% of YouTube content creators. You're in the 1%. 1%. But if I had 100,000 American subscribers, I could probably make a living off of YouTube. But because YouTube pays 6 to 9 times as much for ads in America than it does in South Africa or Argentina or somewhere like that. It's a big market, and so they make a lot more money off the ads. Salvatore Leone, thank you for your membership. Do you think that universities in America will provide financial aid to U.S. to Southern refugees? Universities don't provide financial aid. You got that all backwards, that guy. That's not how it works. Some universities do, but generally speaking, universities don't provide financial aid. They just take your money. There are some exceptions, but usually because some rich person's given them endowment, which they disperse, and it's not really coming out of their pockets. Very few universities give you money. Americans get money through scholarships for their academic performance, or through civic groups, or through people give it to you based on your skin color, like the United Negro College Fund gives money to black people because they're black. But most Americans go to school, university, with financial aid from the federal government based on income level, and sometimes state government. So when I went to university a long time ago, the first time, I had no money and lived in poverty. So I qualified for the full amount from a federal grant, and the state of Ohio had a grant. I got the full amount from that. That at the time was $1,800, $1,800 from the federal government, and $900 from the state government. Gave me $2,700, which wasn't enough to get through university. So I was eligible for a student loan because then the student loans were based on need, not on want. So I had no income, so I was eligible for that. So that got me another $2,500. So that would take me to $2,700 to $4,700 to $5,200, except that the federal government took $300 in fees from my $2,500. So basically, I had $5,000 for my first year in school. The room and board and tuition alone was just about $5,000, which meant that I had no money for anything else. Well, things cost money. You have to buy books. You have to buy paper, pens. I had no clothes. I had to buy some clothing. You can't go naked to school. I mean, this isn't a nature speech. So I worked at minimum wage in the cafeteria, $3.35 an hour. So yeah. Okay. So that guy, I hope that answers your question. Joe Schmo, thank you for your membership. And Grade Maid says, is South Africa being taken off the SWIFT banking system? No. Who told you that lie? There's nothing. Where does that come from? More cockprot going on in some user groups? Mad Max, please see my last WhatsApp. This is very important for the lady from CBS told me in regards to statement of interest. Okay, Mad Max, I didn't see any WhatsApps from you. I looked at it earlier. Okay. Okay. So this is what the lady told you. I have no independent confirmation of this. Do you want me to share this, Mad Max? Is that what you're doing? Thank you for 35 Rand Super Chat. Do you want me to share what she said? Yeah, so I will, but I mean, I have to get independent confirmation of this. Not that I don't trust Mad Max, but I don't want to be guilty of simply spreading things around that I hear, which is what Mad Max is telling me. Show all those who have completed, they would not be given the reference number for this after it gets submitted. What? Should all those who've completed the statement not be given? No, there's no reference number. Guys, okay, Justin Chamberlain, did you fill in the statement of interest? Did you notice where it is? It's a Google form submission. Google doesn't generate numbers for those, not to my knowledge. They could. It's an easy code thing to put in there, but then they'd be responsible for it. You won't get a number. Are you asking, is it a good idea? Yeah. If I ran the program, you definitely would. You definitely have a reference number. You'd also have a place you could contact. You'd be told you have to wait a month before you get a response, but you'd have a place to contact via email or submit an inquiry. You would. Hayes, hello to you. Is that Ethiopian? What is that? Can't see that. Or is that Khmer? What is that script? I can't see that from here. It's very tiny. Peter Free, we had our first email with the unique reference number and our first telephone interview recently. Okay, congratulations. Rona Osthuizen, thank you for your membership. South Africa being taken on the bank system. You've already asked that once. If you keep asking it, I'm going to block you. Why do you want so much attention? Stop being attention seeking. I've answered your question, and you don't get a right to ask it multiple times. It's just rude. I've seen recent people at interviews in Pretoria saying that CWS and RC are closing until next year. More rumors. More rumors. I don't know what to tell you, Chief Wolf. I don't know what to tell you. I'm in touch with some people, and I'm unaware of that. Is there anything I can do to strengthen my case, documentation like that? Well, Tony, I don't know. What do you mean by strengthen your case? Are you somebody that's already gone through the process? Are you somebody that hasn't gone for an interview yet? If you haven't gone for an interview yet, then if you have any documentation, emails, letters, video, anything that supports how you've been persecuted unjustly, that strengthens your case. Does that make sense? All right. So have that available on a thumb drive, because I don't know they what to let you take in when you get screened. So, yeah, and you can give them a thumb drive if you want. Just put the stuff in order, make sense out of it, get reference numbers like that, or dates or something like that. Did I do a follow-up? Yes, I did a follow-up with Morgan at Operation Pet Lift, and there's nothing new to report. They're working through things now. The shutdown has affected that process. Pet Lift is going nowhere until the shutdown is over, at least as far as I can see. Okay. Send you out in Bacalaudio. Joey says they're very professional. Just wanted to check with you, what is better to get for a minor to travel? Parental consent from home affairs or just an affidavit? Okay, that's something that Mad Max addressed in his WhatsApp. So I'm waiting. I'll wait to see if he's got a message down here. Tell me I can share it. As always, thank you, says Hannes. St. Martyrs. Your niece is watching. Hello, Ricky. Hi, Ricky. Okay. Yeah, exactly. No need to repeat questions. Thank you so much, my family. And I love your info. Without you, we would not be where we are now. Okay. How's the situation affecting you? How's the shutdown affecting me? Well, Ruben, I may not get paid on the 1st of November in 12 days. I got paid the last time, so I may not get a paycheck. It'll also affect me tomorrow because the people I work for, a guy's a retired colonel who works as a government civilian, and he, like almost all the civilians at the work college, are furloughed. They're not working. So the only people there are active duty military, and that's a percentage of the staff. So the people that I work with, there's no military that work to prepare the exercise that we do. So I provide contracting services for them and do presentations to general officers and such, but we have to prepare all the stuff in advance. Those people aren't there. So also the government is, the military has gone with this stupid system where if you don't log in to a government computer with your CAC, that's your common access card, that would be something like this. If you don't log in with that chip there in a government system once every 30 days, they cancel your account, which is asinine. You have soldiers who are deployed who don't have access to that stuff. They don't have computers. They're out there on patrol. But you have to have that card to get in all your health records and everything. So I don't know why they came up with this stupid thing. But what happens is that I do this every 6 months. That means after 30 days, it's gone. It used to be I could log in from home, put a card reader into my computer, pop it in. But now I have to be on a government domain, a .gov, or an exception, that's a .edu, but that goes through .gov server. So that paperwork someone has to fill out. Well, those people aren't there. So when I go in tomorrow, I won't even be able to access computers. So other than moving some charts around and reading some notes and writing down some things, I'm not really sure what it is I'm supposed to be doing. But I'm getting paid for it, so I'm just going to be bored. But yeah, it may affect me in that way directly tomorrow. So signal's poor. We are one of those families without food, without shelter, relying on assistance, and our plane ticket's been canceled. What now? Well, Dag, I guess you don't watch this program regularly then. I mean, I've only said it about 1,000 times over the past 2 weeks. I have found a way to help people. I had someone rudely tell me that if I'm really wanting to help people, I'd start a not-for-profit. Well, those people can stick that in their socks. That's just rude and disrespectful. My time is pretty prescribed. Like I said, I had 20 minutes to myself. That's not embellishment, ladies and gentlemen. 20 minutes to myself. I ate my meal at 12:30 in the morning or 1 o'clock in the morning last night. That's when I ate. And I ate tuna fish and had some crisp with it. That's what I had after working 18 hours. I'm not asking for your sympathy. I'm not whining. I'm just telling you that people tell me I should start a non-for-profit, have no clue what they're talking about. But I have done things. So in your case, in Dag, I have made arrangements to help people like that. But I've made it very clear, this is not for people who made foolish decisions and decided that they got an interview, so they're going to close all their stuff up, quit their jobs, move to Pretoria, and get the interview, and then they're going to fly out. It doesn't work like that. No one told you, people, not you, N-Dog, but no one told people to do it. But I know people that did that, and are pissed off U.S. government, blaming the government. It's not the government's fault. You can't follow directions. Now, in your case, N-Dog, if you had a flight, and you can tell us when the flight was, and you need food, then you need to send me an email. Please, one of the moderators, put the email up there for this account, and I will try to look at it if I have time today, and I will put the people from Food Socks who will provide you with food. If you need accommodation, I need to know the following. And I also need to know for food. I need to know how many in your party. Is it you and your spouse? Is it you and your spouse and 19 children? Need to know the ages, all right? In some cases, some people have offered temporary lodging, and we've put a couple people into temporary lodging. People were generous and providing space for them. But I don't need people, and this is not directed at N-Dog, so you don't take offense, but I don't need people who are trying to milk the system and take advantage of it. This is all through my efforts and other people who are willing to help. So there is no not-for-profit. No one's taking any money. In fact, people are spending money out of their pocket or foregoing income by letting people stay in their places. All right, so N-Dog, you need to write to the email, and Hendo has just put it up there, okay? And that goes for anybody else. If I get 500 messages, I know people are lying to me because there aren't 500 people who had their flights canceled or delayed. Now, if you were told you're going to fly out in 2 weeks and you sold everything and went and you're hanging out in Pretoria, I might not be able to help you because you can't follow instructions. But if you had a flight on September 30th or October 1st or through 8th, it's only about 10 days in which this happened, then we can help you out, okay? Don't need a frequently asked page because no one will read it. No one will read it, Nikita. I'll still be answering the same damn questions 1,000 times. You haven't been here since the outset of this. Ask the people that have been watching this since February 7th, when I started this, how many times I answered many of these questions. All right, so N-Dog, if you need help, we'll help you. All right? Okay? The person had an email confirming your appointment for Friday for a face-to-face and then ran out of time. Do you think it will be advisable to go back Monday? Huh? I don't know what you mean, Wolf. What do you mean? Did you meet with someone or you never had the appointment? And they did. What did they tell you? You have to go with what they told you. I need more information to answer that question. Ingrid hasn't had a call. She's not having a seizure. That's good, Ingrid. Joe Schmo says, could you... Whoa, come back here. Joe Schmo said, gosh bless him. Could you please suggest a good state to move to? There's no such thing as a good state to move to, Joe Schmo. There's no such thing as a good state to move to. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you live. I don't know what you're accustomed to. Basically, I can tell you all you South Africans are wussies when it comes to the cold. So I don't even want to live in Minnesota, trust me, or North Dakota. No, don't take offense. We're having a lighthearted joke there. I can't answer that question. No such thing as a good state. No such good thing. I don't think Pennsylvania is a good state, but where I live, things are fine. It's okay. It's good, good quality of life. But generally speaking, this is a communist state run by socialists and corrupt Republicans. They try to tax us. And so every state has its advantages and disadvantages. People don't like the cold, don't want to be here. People that like the heat, like Florida, like Alabama. I couldn't live in Alabama. Jay and Earl Langton are loving it down there in Alabama, and I couldn't stomach it. When I went to see them, I nearly melted down there. It's too freaking humid. No, thank you. It's like being in Durban in the summer. You can keep it, except there's no feces floating up on the beaches there. So they're not in the beach anyway. But no, there's no such thing as a good state. Some super Republican, not expensive, good farmland, rivers, and forest. Okay, you gave me a little bit of context. I didn't get that far in the super chat. So thank you for the super chat, Joe. Clouds are gathering. Thank you. I didn't finish. I go through it part by part, so apologies. Okay, you want super Republican, you mean conservative, not expensive, good farmland, rivers, and forest. Forest? Western Montana, but kind of run by Democrats. Idaho is run by Republicans. It's got a lot of that, but it's not cheap. Farmland is expensive. There aren't many places with inexpensive farmland. Farmland is expensive across the country. I've looked at farmland in Wyoming, and even farmland that's not well watered in the middle of nowhere, which is basically just scrubland, is expensive. Land is expensive in America, and it's become so much more expensive this century from what it used to be. When I was a kid, you could buy an acre of land for $300 to $500 for quality, fertile farmland. Now you can't even touch it now. I mean, around here, you have places that for 2 acres, $100,000. Now, that's not the norm, but it's just ridiculous. I suppose parts of Texas would work for you. Tennessee would be a good spot. Yeah, Tennessee would be good, Joe Schmo, but you don't get a say in it. You can ask, but you don't get a say. Tennessee would be a good choice. If the government opens and it's all a go, do the flights for refugees during December, January 1st? There are no flights for refugees December, January, February, or you tell me they already booked one for you. If they've already booked the flight for you that far out, as long as the thing starts at least 10 days, 2 weeks before your date, then you should be fine. Does that make sense? Because it's not tied to your flight. It's tied to the availability of U.S. government personnel to process you on that end, on this end. And there's people that process you that you never see. They're behind the scenes. They do things to make it so you can get in here, so you can get in the country, yada, yada, yada. So the NGO shows up, they get the right people. So that's the holdup. Those people are furloughed. They're not working. Most of them. Season 2 for the One Piece confirmed. I have no idea what that is. Favorite soccer team? Well, congratulations, Maggie. I don't like soccer. It's boring. Please explain the I-94 form and how does it tie my passport? I was told to carry it with me at all times. The I-94 is your authorization to be in the country until you have a resident card. YouTube Premium 81. Well, how come people are paying 200 and you're paying 81? I had a call back, 2 questions, which the officer really apologized. He was so nice. It wasn't military police. They forgot to ask me. See, that happens, says Mari. That happens. And then they realize they got to get back with you. At least they called you back. Matthew says a colonel gets money from premium membership. Well, there you go. Cancel your membership, Matthew. Trust me, we'll still be watching when you're American. Well, you will, Verna, but a lot of people won't be. And that's fine. There's no one obliged to watch anything. I appreciate if they do. Yeah, don't mind. Thank you. You're welcome, Josar. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Clouds are gathering. Do you know which towns in Virginia refugees are going to? They go where they put them, Diane. I'm not going to disclose where they're at. I know where some refugees are. I know 2 towns in Virginia. I'm not going to disclose it. Nope. That's next thing you know, the New York Times will be stalking their front yard. Nope. You go where they send you. Unless you ask and you can influence it because you have family or you have a job. Wendy says, how you doing? So pleased to hear the ANC no longer has money to get their stuff. Yeah, it might be on a little, what? Yeah, I wonder what happened to the 3. Oh, I don't know what happened to it. Yeah, when you're traveling abroad, you should pretty much always have your passport. Although, I'll be honest, I don't always carry my passport in South Africa because if I get robbed, I don't want to lose my passport. It just depends if it's safe where I can leave it, so. Oh, did I say that out loud? Intel stuff. Okay, I saw you say Intel in the chat earlier. You didn't explain what it was. Okay. Do you get members fee or do you split it with YouTube? Oh, everything gets split with YouTube, Kyle. Okay, so the way it works for content creators is some of it's fair, some of it's not. Okay, so YouTube creates the ad environment with their AdSense program. They do the online automatic auction where your content is bid. It's done instantaneously. They created that whole exosphere. YouTube takes 45% of ad revenue. Some people are like, whoa, that's a lot. I don't have a problem with that. I'm actually okay with it. Even if it was 50-50, I'd be okay. As long as it doesn't go 50-50, but I mean, I'd prefer it be 90-10 in my favor. But YouTube has created that. They have to make money. I'm fine with that. Okay? That's a fair trade-off in my book. Okay? So that's one. Then for memberships and super chats, they take 30%. Now, I think that's ridiculous because a membership ostensibly is based on interest in my content and my personality and what I deliver. So why should YouTube profit from that? They provide the infrastructure and the overlay. I get that. They should definitely get some credit for that. But they shouldn't be getting 30% of my money because the federal government takes half of what I get from that, and the state government, and Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. And then you take 30% of super chats, and that really pisses me off. They should get 10% of super chats because the super chat is because you want a question. If I wasn't here, there would not be a super chat. Now, they could say if they didn't have their platform, I wouldn't be making money, but there's other platforms. Does that make sense? So I don't agree with YouTube taking 30% of super chats and memberships. They should take 10%, 15 max. I'm okay with the ad revenue. Ingrid says, I can never afford to pay your consultation fees if you charge for all this free advice, so I'm happy. Well, Ingrid, I charge minimum $250 per hour for consulting, and I've given out well over $300,000 of free consulting advice with these live streams, with my meet and greets. I mean, I did 7 hours at a meet and greet, at $250. That's what is that? That's a lot of money. One meet and greet. So that meet and greet, if I had been hired to do that at $250 an hour times 7 hours, that's $1,750, or at 18 to the dollar, that was 31,500 Rand I would have gotten for one meet and greet. I did 18 meet and greets. I'd be a wealthy man just for the meet and greets alone. Now, they weren't all 7 hours. Some were 2 hours. Most were 4 or 5 hours. Yep. Yeah, it's a lot of money I've foregone to try to help people. And they still go into WhatsApp groups and talk to each other like they know what they're talking about. I chuckle. Just watch your Snap video. I'm sure one would be able to make $150, $200 a day doing odd jobs. James Walkinshaw, you can make $20 an hour working at McDonald's, which, by the way, pretty quickly you can move up to manager if you want to work at a McDonald's. And lots of people work at McDonald's, black, brown, white, old, young. Yeah, I'm not saying you should go work at McDonald's, but I'm saying they make like $20 an hour. Amazon starts an average of $23 now. Around here, it's only $17 though, but it's $23 is what they pay. Plus, they have full medical and dental. What a good deal that is! You can go work for Amazon almost immediately. Look at the guys out in Twin Falls, Idaho. They've got hundreds of refugees working at Chobani. It has great health benefits. I mean, they pay so well that they provide enough benefits that people can take an employment letter and say they work at Chobani and they can get a loan even though they have no credit history. That's what happened for Cara. She was able. They saw, oh, she works for Chobani. Okay, we'll make you a loan because they know they got a good, reliable job. So, yep. Yvonne wants, please share, Colonel. Please share what? Okay. Yes, you can share because that's why they canceled our first phone call. Okay, all right, got it. That's from Mad Max. Okay, so this is what Mad Max tells me, okay? And I have no independent confirmation. He says, I can now confirm all children unabridged birth certificates are required to continue the process. The old birth certificates did not show parents' IDs and names. The new unabridged has the parent's name and ID on it. Well, that's what I've said from the outset. You have to have the parent's name on there unless the parent is unknown. So, I mean, hi, everyone. Sorry. They requested my son's birth certificate, and he waited 7 weeks and received it on Tuesday and sent it in. They contacted me yesterday and requested a new security check because mine got lost in the system. So I'm booked for an appointment Monday, and then we'll hear what happens. Okay. I spoke a while to the lady from CWS RSC that phoned me. So she explained that they have major bottlenecks due to interested people that did statement of interest on U.S. Embassy website and Americana statement of interest. That's why I said don't do both. I told people not to do both. I told them not to do both. Ugh. RSC has two departments. One works with statement of interest from U.S. Embassy website, and RSC will get in contact with, and the other department works with Americana's statement of interest. You contact you from there, and now they sit with duplicate applications. Yeah, exactly. And what did I tell people not to do? What did I tell people not to do? Do not submit multiple statements of interest. Do not submit statements of interest to the Americanas if you already submitted a statement of interest. And what do people do? They don't fucking listen. And they do it, and now people are in a bottleneck. Selfish. There's no woolly mammoth on the back of it. The closer you get to woolly mammoth is right there. You can use the thumb drive of the interviews in the second interview, says Vanessa. Yeah, that's been my recommendation from the outset. Or print out this stuff. But you can't print out photographs and videos. It doesn't look the same. Thank you always for the updates. How soon do you think the shutdown? Daniel, I don't think the shutdown will end before the end of this month. We've gone past the mid-month. And if there is a risk that the military and essential workers don't get paid on the 1st, then we will have some serious blowback for the Democrats. So I think that if they're going to capitulate, it won't be until the 30th or 31st, just to make sure money goes through, or maybe even on the 1st. But, I mean, the Democrats are being unreasonable. They don't care. They'd burn this country down if they could. They're avowed socialists. They hate the system. They think redistribution is the way. They should be in charge. They know better. And they don't care. They used to divide people in this country on class. But given the upper mobility of people in America, you can come into this country with nothing. You can be here with nothing and rise up. I rose up from abject poverty to upper middle income. And have remained there. I've been out of the Army. I don't have a job. I'm still making money, still producing things. And I'm turning down jobs. You have that upper mobility. So class doesn't work. They can try to throw class out there. And people that are dumb, too lazy, they'll fall for it. But that's not most people. So the Democrats in the 60s shifted from using class warfare. They still use it. but it's not their main focus. They shifted from that to something that never changes. What never changes? Your hair changes. My hair used to be strawberry blonde, and then brown, and then darker. And now it's, silver fox gray. That changes. Your weight can change. Your address can change. Your income level can change. What never changes? Your skin color. You don't change your skin color unless you use skin lightener. You don't change your skin color. So they resorted from class warfare to race warfare. So you're always a victim. So like Oprah Winfrey's a billionaire. Because she's black, she's a victim. She's been oppressed. Jasmine Crockett is a loudmouth, foul-mouthed, scumbag member of Congress from Texas. But because she's black, she was oppressed. She went to private schools. I didn't go to private schools. She grew up in wealth. She's in Congress. She's got all these benefits I don't get even as a combat veteran for 36 years. She gets it. She hasn't done jack shit for this country. But she's an oppressed minority because the Democrats make her one. Victimhood. So, okay. So, Danny, I hope I answered your question there. David, sorry. Okay, what else we got here? We received our unique ID from Amerikaners, validated our case, now awaiting important call. Cool. Ronell says, you're something, you need to take a break sometime. No. I'll when I'm dead, I'll get all the rest I need. Okay, could you please clarify how long after you must wait until they can apply for permanency? When I first started reporting this, I said you have to wait 12 months, but that was a misreading or misunderstanding of the law, I believe. I believe the deal is you must apply within the first 12 months. You're not going to get it then, but you have to apply within the first 12 months, all right? But you get it much quicker than other people. I mean, other people have to wait like 5 to 7 years, something like that, or something. But you get it much quicker. So don't worry about it. They'll explain the process to you, and you'll fill the paperwork out, and it'll happen, unless you defrauded us. Filled in a statement at the beginning of June and waited a few months. I filled in a form to say that I have not been contacted yet, but documents are ready. I don't know what that means. Maritza Ackerman. I don't know what that means. What form? Whose form? Who did you give a form to? There's no form to tell people you haven't been contacted. I don't know what you're talking about. Is that something the Amerikaners put up? It's not the government process, unless something new just came up. Jackie Moeller, good evening. I'm sorry if this has been asked. That's okay. Ask your question. But just got here. Is there any updates? No, there are no updates on Operation Pet Lift. I can tell you that the last information I have, it's now approximately a week old, is that the advisory against Operation Pet Lift either has been lifted or is in the process of being lifted. But the government shutdown is delaying the process. Okay? I have to take care of my health better than that. Thank you. Okay, got an initial special ID from Amerikaners, and I received a new ID from RCS. Okay, I didn't know Amerikaners gave you an ID. That's interesting. Okay, that's probably causing some confusion. Okay, during interviews, everyone was talking about Chris Wyatt. Are you serious, Jess? Are you serious? Tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more. I want to know more. Really. Your information has been spot on and most helpful. We were just waiting for flights. Well, cool, rhombus, meniscus, Okay, I got meniscus right, but the rhombus I got wrong. Okay, we got, whoa, come back here, chat, come back. Chat got away from me again. I'm trying to catch up, guys. I'm trying to catch up. There's a lot of questions here. Okay, that's where I was. Okay. No, that's not where I was. Well, I was there. How did I miss that? Okay, I got to put the reading glasses on because I can see this, but it's slightly out of focus. Okay, now it's perfectly in focus. Is there a possibility 40-year-olds can do apprenticeships? What you mean, like become a master carpenter or a printer or something like that? We don't really do apprenticeships here in America like Europeans do. Some places do it, but so I would say that you go on the job, get on the job training. I don't know that we really do apprentice. It's not like Germany where you have master craftsmen, meisters and such. We don't really do that like that. Worked previously in America, back in South Africa now. Did obtain social security number. Woohoo! No, it won't affect your refugee. No. Andre Labaskakne, it will actually help you. If you have a social security number, all you need is a work permit. You come here as a refugee, you don't have to wait. My beard is looking kind of weird. Where's it at? Over here. So, you don't have to wait. You come to America, you get your authorization, your I-94, whatever. You can go work. You can start. Dude, if you got a plane, if you got a ticket, you're coming over here. As soon as you got that, you'll know where you're going. Start doing a job search. You might have a job when you land. because you got a social security number. That's the holdup. You have to have a social security number. You're not a person without a social security number. That's the other thing that gets me. People are in these cockprot WhatsApp and YouTube group, WhatsApp and Facebook things, and they're like, oh, well, you need a social security. No shit, you need a social security number. What have I been telling people? You're not a person in this country without a social security number. It's not supposed to be that way, but that's the way it is. Have my K-Way puffer jacket ready. Your K-Way puffer jacket is not going to cover that, Philip. No. K-Way is just wussy. It's not real warm. You need something from LL Bean or something like that. Okay. No, seriously, those K-Way, they don't keep you warm like stuff does here in America. But that'd probably work in Alabama, a K-Way puffer jacket. Francis, it's true. I'm a wussy when it comes to cold and extreme heat. No Alabama for me. There you go. Any state that is hot and humid. Hot and humid, Florida, Louisiana, Alabama, South Georgia, South Carolina. Ooh, South Carolina, brutal. And that's pretty much it. It's humid Virginia, too, I guess. And yeah, can't wait for our first white Christmas. Stop being a racist. I don't wear beanies for the most part. That hi Colonel, my family and I filled in statements just in May, and they came and came out. No. I don't recommend resubmitting anything. I don't. No. I do not. We covered that a little while ago. I'm behind the chat now. Why are my damn timestamps not here? Okay. Ouch! Gosh, my hip. Okay. What else we got here? Can't wait for our first. Okay, okay. Tracy Schaefer would love a snow state. Well, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, although Michigan's going left. Indiana's kind of flat and boring. New York, but who wants to live in New York? It's a shame. New Hampshire's nice, but it's expensive. Maine is nice, but it's leftist. Idaho's great, but it's way out in the middle of nowhere. Wyoming's great, but nobody lives there. Yeah, so there's choices. Oregon has mild climate and plenty of everything. Yeah, they do. Lots of leftists, lots of regulation, lots of taxes. They got all that stuff. They used to have the Bhagwan Rishis too. Not anymore. But Oregon is a lovely place. He's correct. I can actually answer questions so many times now. I've heard them so many times. My husband says it's President Trump or Colonel Wyatt. He can't wait till until he gets his wife back. You're talking off his ear. President Trump, Colonel Wyatt, President Trump, Colonel Wyatt. It's almost working day, night shift. We can't be 24/7, so we got on rest days. We go on. Huh? I'm already decided. I don't understand what that means. Can't be 24/7, so if we got on rest days, we go on. And you must be explaining something that you mentioned to me earlier. Baby Boomer Dad says 5 just got accepted. I'm assuming you got a provisional approval, is what you're talking about. Don't like the heat, but also don't like extreme cold. In between. In between. North Carolina, kind of in between. Yeah, that's kind of in between. Maryland, in between. Arrived 28 September, U.S. just before shutdown. Thank you for everything. Well, JC, how come you haven't come on the program to tell people about your experiences? You were the last one. People on the 29th had their flights canceled. JC. Woo, JC. Oh, man, I'll tell you what. If you haven't got down and said your prayers, and thank God for what, I mean, man, you literally were the last one out the door. The 29th, people got canceled, man. Wow, JC, congratulations. But why aren't you on the program? Telling people about your experiences. Congratulations. All right, cool. Look, I learned best by repetition, but this refugee thing even drives me insane with the same old stuff. Yeah, I hear you, Simmery. I reckon all refugees move Minnesota to primary the Democrats. Sandy said, okay, cool, Chris. Thanks. We haven't been contacted yet, but just waiting. Okay. All right. Hang in there. Still maintain my parents. Well, look, the advice I'm giving you is what the U.S. government is telling you. I told you that before the government did. I said, don't submit duplicate statements of interest. One person wrote me, I've submitted 4 times. They're not responding. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe piss them off. Clog the system. But then finally, the U.S. government in September told people, don't submit a second statement. It's on the page. So I'm not telling you anything that's not publicly available. So, I mean, you know, if it never happens for you, don't get pissed off at me because I just told you what the government said to do. I told you before they did, and then they followed me. You're stuck with me, my husband. Okay, thank you, Anonymous. Ben says, car guards, rest of you catching up now, double play speed. What did I miss? Not so much. Okay. Can you apply for permanent residence before 1 year is over? Paul, I answered that question, and maybe I'm way behind you and you're asking this, but I thought I answered it a long time ago. You apply within the first year, okay? Need a container company in America from South Africa, America. Too many scammers. Well, I'm not getting involved in that. You have to pay a fortune for a container. I guess you have the resources, but you're not shipping your cattle over here. Trust me. No, I don't have answers for that. My recommendation is to do some Google searches and find not the third parties, but the actual shippers. My stuff got shipped. I have records of the companies that do it. The U.S. government contracts for it, but because my stuff has been shipped mostly by air, but I've also had it shipped by sea. To Europe, it's by sea. To Africa, it was always by air. Now it's by sea. They do the same thing. It's stupid. It goes by sea. It takes forever. Did Chris share what Mad Max said? I did, Chief Wolf. Sorry, Helen wasn't paying attention. So, cattle farm, South Africa, there are ways to ship your stuff. If you can afford a container, which is $17,000 or $25,000, I think for most standard containers, depending. Now, if you're a bulk shipper, the shipping crap from China, you can ship it for $1,300 a container or something like that. But you gotta clear customs. You got to have an agent that clears customs. You've got to have a delivery location. You can't just have it delivered to the port. You got to have an address. So there's a lot involved there. Okay, can be placed anywhere. We'll have to sort my registrations, my qualifications. Okay. The snow is something we don't know. Florida is humid. Places, the sea in Texas also humid. Wanted to go to Elon and Brownsville. Not cold winter. You can have Brownsville, Texas. Ew. My wife and I have agreed to do an interview with you as soon as we can once we're in the land of living. Okay, cool. Cool, Ruben. Thank you for that. You spoke so fast, I didn't get all the flights in December. CMM, somebody said, will the people who have flights in December, January, February, will they, or I think it was November, December, January, maybe they said, will their flights still go on? I said, I asked a question. Has someone already given you a flight? You have a ticket for November? That's news to me. If they've given you a ticket for November, it means you have a reservation. So the government doesn't pay that damn for those plane tickets till like right before that the airlines have to do that. So that's why we use American carriers, because they have to cooperate with the government. So they get discounted rates for the government, and they get seats, and they get priority, and even if it's economy, they get priority, and they pay for it last minute. So those flights won't have been paid for yet. Even though you're making a loan from IOM, that's not who's paying for the flight. The U.S. government's paying for it. And anyway, so they get reimbursed by them. So even if the lockdown ends, there's still going to be 7 to 10 days, in my view, that's my estimate, flash to bang. So if it ends today, 10 days from now, maybe the first people who didn't go on September 29th will go. Maybe. If the circumstances haven't changed, if they're still alive, they haven't been murdered, all kinds of things. And then if you already have a flight, then yours should just continue normal. You already have a reservation. They just have to get the money in place. Does that make sense? Okay. You can earn dollars online for South Africa. That's not too bad. Some people do. It's the difference between chilly and painfully cold. Exposed skin can start to freeze in minutes in those temperatures. I'd still say watch you for the reasons why I trust your opinion. You can call both sides out, even if your opinion leans one way. You seem most unbiased. You'll matters. Well, thank you, Werner Kruger. It's true. We all have bias. The difference is I admit my bias, and it doesn't prejudice my assessment. When a Democrat does something good, I give them credit. When a socialist comes up with an idea that works, I'll give them credit. But that's never happened, so probably never going to happen. People that I don't like, if they do something good, I give them credit for it. I don't hide that news. I also report bad news from things that are from my side. So yes, I am objective. I'm biased, but I don't let my bias cloud my objectivity. Does that make sense? It does to me. Thank you for your compliment, Werner Kruger. Here in the United States, most people look like they live in a state of confusion. This is the land of confusion. If they pay for personality, Colonel Chris must now be able to buy an oil field. Yeah, you're right, Utopi. People don't listen. Paul Doveton says selfish. That's how far behind. Oh, I bit my tongue. That's how far I'm behind. They changed the whole unabridged birth certificate. You only get a birth certificate. Yes, that's like 10, 15 years ago, but it doesn't help people who were born 40 years ago. Colonel, maybe you can help with this one, or somebody on this platform. I went to for fingerprints. My results came back, and he said my fingerprints does not match the provided identity. I don't know what to tell you, Hannes Holtz. How can it not match the provided identity? Do you have fingerprints on record in the United States? Did you get a passport or a visa to come here previously? Don't answer this. Do you have a criminal record in South Africa? You've been criminally charged and fingerprinted in South Africa. Because maybe another Hannes Holzhausen committed a crime in South Africa and they had their fingerprints taken. You're going to have to probably provide documentation of who you are, going back, way back, identification, everything. I'm not sure. I've never heard that situation before, but I could see how it could happen easily. And in the 21st century world, it's very easy to do. If you know how to manipulate computers, not that it happened to you, but you go in and you can simply change stuff in people's, we watched that in The Net with Sandra Bullock 25 years ago. Great movie. Fabian Bridger says, thank you for your advice. Your service, unfortunately, a lot of South Africans suffer from entitlement. When they get what they want, they still complain. They sound like Americans. Mad Max, I can now wear my stupid shirt because we did two-state interest. Didn't listen to me. What's for children under the age of 18? The Democrats will push citizens to the brink of anxiety. Yep. You certainly have nerves of steel to take this on. Well, I didn't take it on, Del Marie. I just reporting the news. And, when people ask questions, and I like to answer people's questions best I can. And next thing you know, here we are 8 months later. Okay. Roy Pike's got to go. Take care, Roy. Sandy Rautenbach. It's about the presidential termination, not personal, not being able to get you at the airport. Right. Thank you, Mariska. Presidential termination? No. What are you talking about? No. What presidential termination? There's no presidential termination, not get you to the airport. Please explain, Mariska. I missed something. Is it worth applying for a diversity visa? Well, Wesley, you can apply for a diversity visa, but it's no. You mean the lottery? You talking about the visa lottery? That's what that is. Good luck. Go ahead and put your name into it. That's fine. Got grandsons on a bridge certificate the same day, but ours is 3 to 6 months. Yeah, because you're old folks. They have to go look at it. They have to open up the vault and blow the dust off of it. CBS emails and their website said the flight's being canceled is not because of the shutdowns, but because presidential termination has not been signed. Okay. No. Okay, I see what you're saying. No. What presidential determination? Are they talking about the annual report that the president submits to Congress? That's not a determination. That's the president's report to Congress. It's a report, not a determination. It's not an executive order. Doesn't carry the weight of law. That's the one that has the caps in it that people keep talking about. So I'm not sure what determination they're talking about. But that really doesn't matter. The flights are shut down until they resume. So, the reason for it, you can't change that. So what does it matter? Unless you're trying to gauge how long it's going to take. All right. Don't live with anger. Ask me. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Thank you for that, Michael Harris. Once you receive, come back. Damn it. Mariska Harris. No. It's okay. The cap is, guys, I've covered this. The cap is not a cap. It's a target. And people keep calling it a cap. That's because you're reading the New York Times. Read the report. Then look at the actual numbers of refugees come to the country. We rarely exceed it. Sometimes you go well beyond it. It doesn't carry the weight of law. Circumstances change. Andre says, thank you. That's good news. Can't wait to get there. Okay. Imagine being in a State Department reading applications, seeing the colonel's name and 90% as a reference. Well, some people put me down as a reference. I got this to say. When I go back to South Africa and I ask to come to the embassy, I would hope they give me a cup of coffee at least. You need to get the warm clothes in USA. Ours won't cut it. Exactly, Braun. Exactly right. Your warm clothes in South Africa won't cut it. Just confirm I'm a main member and got a unique in my husband got one as well. I respond to email and we revise one family per unique number. Yeah, okay. Government shutdown can delay president's terms, but it is not the reason travel is being canceled. All right, Mariska Harris. All right, yeah, okay, yeah. All right, fine. Thank you. Please, do you work for the State Department? Are you in PRM? Are you in PRM? Mariska Harris, people stop flying here before the end of the fiscal year. The determination you're referring to lasts the fiscal year. 30 September is the end of the fiscal year. 1 October is the new fiscal year. So people could travel under the previous designation of 125,000 refugees in the cap that Joe Biden came up with through 30 September. Yet flights were canceled on 29 and 30 September. So tell me what that has to do with a presidential determination. Please. Please. Why were those flights canceled? Just Chill. I was curious, says, I don't know much about how this government works, but if the shutdown goes on for months, it won't go on for months. The longest one ever has been 34 days, 35 days. The president is trying to reopen government, but no, he needs money. That's the way the Constitution works. Congress has to give him a bill, and then he has to prove it. There's things he can do, but that's for essential services. So, yeah, not much you can do. Okay, qualified diesel mechanic. Will they get me a mechanic job? No one will get you a job. You get your own job. Nobody finds you a job. This isn't socialism. You find your own job. Now, people may help you find a job, but no one gets you a job. You get your own job. Diesel mechanic? Dude, do you know how many freaking semi-trucks we have in this country? Millions of them. Probably a couple million semis. And then we have lots of POVs. Yes, there's plenty of jobs for diesel mechanics here. No cold states for me, okay? Would never wrap my head around the second oldest son in summer. Did my statement in May and got my unique ID a week ago. Thank you, Skulk Lubscher. May. I assume you did on the 12th. Maybe you didn't. So we'll go May 12th. June, July, August, September, October. 5 months. People. See? 5 months. Dindy Dreher, what about Kansas? Kansas, windy, cold. Lovely place. And it's hot in the summer. Is Georgia as hot as Florida? Yes, it is. Well, once you know, you'll be shocked. Okay? What is your opinion of Bridgeport, Connecticut? It's a crappy town, Sonic Bloom. I've been there. Most recently to watch hockey, watch the Bridgeport Sounders, as they were called at the time, play the Hershey Bears. It's a crappy town. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. My aunt lived there when I was a kid. Used to go up there. Went fishing off the dock into the ocean. I don't like it. Didn't like it at all. Too much traffic, too. Way too much traffic. Feel in a state of interest and within 10 inches of realize, still waiting for mail. Oh, I guess Andre said he did it within 10 minutes of the 12 May release. My kids, a week later, we received our reference numbers. When did you do it, Ronell? Turned 50 billion stake from EU, okay? Seattle has snow for only a week in most years. Yes, but there is snow in the Cascades. I try to help answer repetitive questions. Thank you, Francis Russ. Just chill. Chris, just curious. Okay, I answered that question, didn't I? Okay. Please stop repeating questions. Okay, I'm trying to jump ahead. The cattle farmer says, if your FG is approved, can you fly over in your own cost? I don't know how the process is working from South Africa. You can pay your own fare. That's but the thing is, you can't just come over. You can't just come over. You have to come over. You have to come over under the auspices U.S. government. You can't just come over. So, yeah. The email from Eric Connor received before it was confirmed beyond a doubt that they were legit. Didn't really read the content. So, oh, shame. Sorry to leave early. My internet is terrible. Sorry to hear that. We had bad internet earlier with my guest. Carl von Black, very proud of your work with you, Colonel. Thank you for being a voice of reason to sea of misinformation. Food Socks. Folks, 350 Rand from Carl von Black from Food Socks. I interviewed him while I was in the UK recently. He has these nutritious meals, which I haven't tasted, but I will be a guinea pig for when I come back to South Africa. And they provide low-cost meals, very inexpensive. And right now, Carl is providing meals to some of the families that had their flights canceled. So thank you for that, Carl. Appreciate that. Really do. I'm catching up on the chat. I'm getting close now. Okay. Give them crap, Colonel. We did statement once. We got our calls up to the orientation. Okay, Marley, cool. By the way, U.S. artificial intelligence picked my fingerprints up. Unbelievable. Huh? Oh, not unbelievable if you understand the computing power of what America's intelligence community and its law enforcement has, folks. I remember I worked in the intelligence community for 30 years. That's why I love people. They say, well, no one know about this. Oh, trust me. Ruben, welcome for your membership, Ruben. Let me take the glasses off. Thank you for your membership. Raining heavy here in Pretoria. Don't crucify me, but please, what's in the email? What's in what email, Brenda? Why would anybody crucify you? That sounds like a brutal way to treat somebody. Ours moved really fast. We got our call from RCS on the 13th of October. The next day, they sent the background check forms and asked for a couple copies. And the 15th, we already had the Teams meeting. Wow. Doretta sent me an email on October 16th. That was 3 days ago. Can you read it when you have time? Well, Doretta, let me look and see. Let me send a message I missed when I was out of the net yesterday. Ooh, I missed quite a few. Okay. All right. D-O-R. Doretta Fundimeva. There you are. I read your message. You didn't ask me any questions. You just sent me a message. A very nice message. I read that. I read it, Doretta. I read it. Thank you for that. I didn't respond. I can't respond to everything, but thank you. Thank you so much for that. I read your message. I bought some packets of food from your Albertson sellers. What a super person to deal with. My brother says the food is great. Well, there you go, Kathy. Thanks for sharing that. Food socks, guys. Check it out. Hey, Carl, put the link in there. I don't have it handy. I mean, that was when I was in the UK, sitting at a Starbucks, and I was talking to you. I don't have the link handy. Or maybe one of my mods has a link to food socks, and they can get you a list of sellers. You can get it who sell it in your area. Okay. If you want to buy it, just to buy it. But people are in need. You need to send me an email. Let me look and see if I got an email, because we mentioned that earlier. I'm not going to mention who it is if you sent me an email, but I'm going to look and see if I sent an email. Okay, people, N-Dog here didn't send me an email. N-Dog said they need help. They said they're hungry, but I don't see any message from N-Dog. Okay, Mariska says the president's termination is to be signed. Without it being signed, no refugees can be admitted. Flights were canceled because they would have arrived on October 1st. It does. No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. I'm sorry. So Church World Services is the expert. Okay. Are you from Church World Services, Mariska? Okay. Flights that depart on the 29th of September arrive in America, get this, on the 30th of September, not on the 1st of October. Flights that depart on the 30th arrive on October 1st. That's correct. But thank you for the explanation. The long-haul truck driver course when it comes. Missouri is okay. Yeah, Springfield. Sorry, there's a university there. Francis, I can't answer the question whether your husband has to be present in Teams meeting. As far as I know, they're supposed to be, but I don't know the answer to that question. How is Erie, Pennsylvania? It's a shithole. I wouldn't go to Erie, Pennsylvania. No, I'm sure there's nice places there. There's much better places in Pennsylvania than Erie. It's on the lake. You get the wind effect. It's cold, lots of snow. In June, and got our approval letter just before shutdown. Undercover refugee. Oh my God, these lines, not these. Mad Max just gave a link to a story from BizTech. What are they claiming now? Go to site. They're verifying that I'm a human. Oh, no, I got that story, Max. I just haven't had time to make a video on it. That came out earlier. I saw it. Yeah, I'm going to grill Ramaphosa over that one. So please chill, because I've been here for a while. When you need to relax and chill, you really... What? Which state has the least amount of wind? Well, all states have a lot of wind. Mostly coming from the state houses in the state capitals. West Virginia sounds nice. Yeah, West Virginia is nice. A lot of poverty, but it's nice. Can they put me near special religious communities? If I'm a member of that religion, I don't know the answer to that question, Willem. You can ask, and if they can accommodate you, they will. Okay? No, they told us you can pay on that side for flights. Well, you do pay on this side. You pay the loan back. But as far as paying in advance, I don't know the answer on that. This is in-country resettlement. This is unusual. It's rarely done. We've done it for Cuba. We've done it for Bosnia and Herzegovina. It isn't something they do very often. Also, as Mariska was alluding to, it's not what she said, but that she's alluding to, this really wasn't planned for, and it wasn't budgeted for, and we're now in the new fiscal year, and we don't have authorizations for things, which is, I think, is what she's getting at. We did an email in February when you said, and state ministers when you said contact 10 October. Okay, Joey, there you go. So you did it February 10th. Yeah, that's when I said do it, February 10th. So February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. You waited 8 months. 8 months, Joey. There you go. See, it takes time. Folks, I don't think most people realize how many of these damn things went in and how few people are working on this. They don't have 1,000 people working this program. That's impossible. They don't have a lot. And they hire people like RC, but RC doesn't have 1,000 people. And those of you who've worked with the Kenyans, almost every single person who's been honest and has contacted me that I've seen face-to-face or talked to or written to has told me how wonderful, polite, and respectful the Kenyans have been. So when I hear stories that they've been dishonest or they're racist, none of them have shown any degree of credibility. Legality, illegal immigrants were getting, and Trump stopped that with illegal work. Yeah, of course. I don't know what Chief is saying. What did Chief Wolf say? But yeah, the commercial driver's license. If you have a work permit, you're good. Glad for everyone who has gotten contact. I'm moving along. I've done 12 May, both me and my wife. Well, Alley Cat, there you go. There's somebody that did it in February and did it on May 12th, or did it in February, and they just heard. And Deanie Dreyer says the Food Socks Melkos is the best. Okay, look at that. Somebody eats some. Hey, Kate Deanie, how's it going? Mariska, you never answered my question. Do you work for Church World Services or for USCIS or somebody like that? We got calls and done Teams, and we were supposed to do face-to-face, but ended up doing the orientation meeting, but hadn't done in-person interviews, but we got our case number a month ago. It's possible. 10th of October to your email, if you can read it, Lola. Okay, Lola. Where the hell did it go? Where'd my email go? Just had it open. There it is. Oh, it's because Mad Max sent me that thing. Lola. I thought I searched for you before, and you don't. I don't have any Lola. I have someone else, and someone sent me something the 10th of October. I thought I addressed this for you already. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Okay, I am so sorry, Lola. I found your message. I thought I already addressed this. I failed. Carl, I've got contact here for you. Lola, may I give your number to Carl? Okay. Lola, may I give your number to Carl? I presume I can because you want help. Okay. Okay. Hey, Peter Fundamental. If notice a lot of Afrikaners can read but do not understand what they read. Yeah, well, a lot of Americans don't understand what they read. Miki Fundameva, thank you for your membership. There's a TikTok made where a young lady says she's never met the president before, but she says, hello, cupcake. Andre van Onsenen. Our flight got canceled. Their email, they referenced president's termination being the reason. Simple facts. All right, again, Mariska, simple fact. Flights that leave on the 29th of September arrive in America on the 30th. President's determination for 2026 doesn't affect them. Simple fact. Why are you being obstinate? But thank you. And I didn't say you have to work for them. I asked how you know that. I asked specifically if you work for them because then you would have that knowledge. You've provided it. Thank you. Thank you, Sandra. Lola's not answering. Pierre Husman. Program is still running. I did my application. Oh, there's no application. Wait, stop, Pierre. What do you mean you did an application? No one has done an application unless you've been contacted by them and you've got a case number. Then you have an application. Prior to that, you've just done a statement of interest. Just means you're interested in the program. That's not an application. Just you're interested. Yes, the program is running, yes. Did someone tell you the program had stopped? What, because the government shut down? No. The contracts that RSC and the Americanas are working on are multi-year. They're not tied to the fiscal year. So they have that money available to run these programs beyond the fiscal year. So, yeah. That most government budgets are year to year. That's why we have a government shutdown right now. But some contracting is allowed to go multi-year. just not often. Like one of the problems we had frustrated when I worked 1206, 1207, 1208 programs, 1206 in particular, these are train and equip programs to train foreign military, is that was always 1 year money. So just like the military equipment for Ukraine, when Trump was president the first time, they accused him of not sending it, which is BS. He sent it by the end of September. You have to spend the money by the end of the year. You have to, I have to deliver the stuff. I mean, I have to buy whatever the drones that Uganda's getting drones. I have to buy them before 30 September. They don't have to be delivered by 30 September, but money has to be expended by then. That's 1 year money, which is most money in the federal budget. But these guys are getting paid under a pot of money that runs through. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Did Lola respond yet? Okay. Tested food stocks. The flavors are really nice. I do not like soy, but I couldn't taste the difference. Yeah, no, I haven't had them. I can't give you the taste confirmation, but that's what most people have been telling me. So, but it is soy. What if refugees are placed in Bridgeport, Connecticut? They'll be fine, Sonic Boom. I just don't like it. That doesn't mean you can't live there. I don't like New York City. I used to, but people live in New York City. Oh, yes, you may. It's really not a problem. No. So, Carl, you're here, Carl. I'm going to send you this lady's number right now so that you can reach out to her. See, Carl, work with me. You get more work than you need. So there you go. I'll also send you her name because you're going to need that. I'll send you an email address too. Okay. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Lola, that I did not. I swear I thought I'd taken care of this, but I've got a million things going on. Okay. Okay, so my apologies for that. So that's entirely my failure. So, all right. And I apologize for that. Anyway, and thank you for your patience. I think Carl, take a look at that. Make sure I sent it to Carl. I sent it to Carl. Take a look at that, and if you can, if you've got some distributing in that area, can get something to her quickly. That would be fantastic. Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah, Carl has been an ace stepping in here, folks. Thanks. You got the unique number, but can't fill out the form as one form member is waiting a passport. Why can't you fill out the form? Are you going to wait till you get a passport? So I've covered this before. That's your decision, but I mean, if I didn't have a passport, I would answer truth. I don't have a passport, and I would do the statement of interest. I mean, otherwise, 10,000 more or 100,000 more come in. I don't know. Maybe that's bad advice. Maybe you just wait 6 months when you get a passport, and then you apply, and the program's canceled. That's not likely to happen. I don't know. I would have sent it in. I don't know why you have to wait, but that's your call. That's not the reason travel's actually on hold risk. I'm not going to argue with you here. Yeah, I know you're trying to pick a fight. I just ask you. But anyway, whatever. Yeah. CWS also claimed a whole bunch of nonsense about this program. CWS also on their website earlier this year claimed that white farmers were coming over from South Africa. That's what they told the public. That's what CWS put on their website. That's a lie. That was propaganda because they were pissed off because they were losing money. So, CWS tells you that, fine. CWS also refuses to answer media questions. I've submitted questions to them. They refuse to respond. So, whatever. Doesn't mean they're wrong. Just saying they're credibility suspect. No, Lola, the site's not slow. I'm slow. I'm trying to answer as many questions as possible. It takes time to answer them, and I just got back to yours. I've sent your contact information to Carl, and knowing Carl, he's probably reaching out to you right now. Oh, okay. What do you mean in the morning? Come on, Carl, don't be so damn lazy, man. People are desperate. No, well, I burned that bridge. Carl was working with us to help people, but he's mad at the colonel now. No, just kidding. Just kidding, guys. Damn it! Get on the stick, man. True, and it's disgusting. What's disgusting, Wendy? We are all three immediate fans. Well, hang on a second. Did I miss something here? And all above it. So one person got the Americaner's email, linked to the other two members. Assume we just wait. I would imagine that's the case, Beulah. Okay. I'm sorry that Merska that you didn't get to fly. Yeah, and you're in a holding pattern. If you need some assistance, let us know. If you do, okay? let us know, Mariska. You can reach out. You got the email address there. Okay? If we can help, we will. Yeah, look, I don't know about the Americaners Forum. I don't know what that's all about and why that came about. I haven't talked to Sam about that. I just told people not to do both, okay? And some people done both, and according to what Mad Max sent, but I'll have to talk to people and see if that's the case. I do know, I guess since Mad Max has been told that by CWS, I guess I can confirm. When I talked to Sam a while back, she said there was a problem because all the statements being duplicated. So, yeah. So Jordan says, truly appreciate all you do for us. Do you know the Stoffel, the Badger? You remind? No, I don't. I don't. Is that a cartoon character? New York City has not got the same problems as London. Feel so sorry for those New York police. Mariska says, thank you. I appreciate it. You're very welcome, Mariska. And I didn't take that you were being obstinate. So please don't, if I came across as brusque. I was asking because if you're correct in what you say, which I'm not saying you're not, I want to find the source so that we can go and we can double down with you and say that's what the reason is. Okay? All right. At what age can a bank account be open for a child in the USA? Henry Fouché, I don't know the answer to that. I think you could. I know that 10 and 12 or 12-year-olds like that have bank accounts, but you have to have a Social Security number. The problem used to be a Social Security number, but now so IRS had cracked down because when I was a kid, people were like, "Well, I've got 6 children," and they take 6 deductions tax return. No one to check it. There's no way to check it because they didn't have Social Security numbers. So you can't put a deduction. You can't claim someone as independent on your tax return unless you have the Social Security number. So they moved to this like. When I was a young adult, after I'd been a kid, they said every kid has to have Social Security number in the first 5 years. But then as the system got more advanced and more process capability and able to process, then they said within 12 months. So now every American child has to have a Social Security number within 12 months. And so what age can you open a bank account? Let's see. Can a parent at what age can a parent open a bank account for their child? Here you go. All right, let's see what it says. At any age. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, a checking. Okay, so a savings account. Yeah, I knew there was a distinction. So a savings account, the child's born, you can open a savings account now, start putting money in. Start putting money in right now. And then, but I think you have to have a Social Security number. So when they say any age, that's with a caveat. But go get them a Social Security number, start putting money in the bank account. A child they can't do anything with that account. They can't have a checking account until they're around the age of 13. Yep. Savings accounts are often open for newborns and managed jointly by the parent and child until the child is old enough to manage themselves. Some banks offer checking accounts for children as young as 6. I don't know any of those banks. Well, here you go, Bank of America. Let's see what Bank of Latin America has to say. I call them that because they give accounts to illegal aliens. Bank of Latin America. Okay, all right. Where's it at? Okay, it's not showing me. It doesn't tell me. Okay, it just said it took me to a link for kids, but it doesn't say. Okay. Share ownership with a parent at any age or the sole owner of an account starting at age 16. So Bank of America will let a kid have sole ownership of their account at the age of 16. Okay, so yeah, so there you go. But parents can open accounts on behalf of their kids. Okay, does that make sense? 13 May was contacted Americanas and they hand us over service. Americanas only do limit screening and hand over. Utopia, that's correct. So the deal with Americanas is that they were supposed to be dealing with the most urgent cases, but I mean that's a ludicrous term because who determines what's most urgent? And I mean unless someone's beating on your door. Okay, Mariska, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. ET Garden Service. Trump considers overhaul refugee system that would favor Europeans and Brits, according to the New York Times. Yes, that's not accurate. What the New York Times said is that there are options being presented to Trump that will favor that. Doesn't say Trump favors that. Nothing's been approved yet. But is it likely? Yeah. Yeah, it's likely. Can we assist the airtime? Can we assist the airtime? No, the Kenyans bill the American government for the airtime. They don't pay for those calls. We pay for it. We, the taxpayer, pay for it. You made the video to take the rant. No, I haven't, Ruben. I had 20 minutes to myself yesterday, and I have the notes. I'll get to it. Sorry. If I don't get to it, well, then people have to research on their own. Referred us, then we got an email with unique ID and number and told them not told by them not to fill out that form. Okay, well, if they told you that, then that's the direction they're getting. Okay? All right, then follow the directions. Don't let me interfere with the directions, okay? Gotcha, Undercover FG. Gotcha. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, maybe they may have put some guardrails in the system. I mean, look, a lot of what the State Department is doing, either they were doing it and not telling people, and I'm a brilliant analyst, which is possible, or they weren't doing it, and I suggested it in my analysis, and they're watching, which they are. Hi, guys. And then they changed and started doing things. I think there's a combination of both those things have been in play here, because there's a very strong correlation to when there's no information on a topic. I analyze it, and in short order after that, or a few weeks or a month or two after that, they come out with the exact same thing I've been saying all along. I mean, am I that good an analyst? Am I that good at predicting? Am I Senior Fun Wyatt? I'm not claiming to be. So either I am, or it's a bit of that and a bit of, well, they changed things. Make sense? Okay, because they listen to me. Okay. When does the government close over December and reopen on January 20th? It doesn't. Government never closes, Double D. U.S. government never closes. Never. They close for holidays. Martin Luther King Day, Christmas Day, New Year's Day. There's some federal holidays. But the government doesn't shut down. Military at work every day. The Federal Aviation Administration, air traffic controllers at work every day. Coast Guard at work every day. The Federal Bureau of Incompetence at work oppressing Americans every single day. Yeah, it doesn't shut down. We don't take holidays like African states or Europeans and just to shut the government down for 2 weeks and go on the beach in August, or go hang out for Christmas. We don't do that. Now, parts of the government, people take breaks. Like the military traditionally used to go to half-day schedule in December. A lot of military, or day on, day off, which I prefer. That's cool. So work Monday, don't work Tuesday, work Wednesday, don't work Thursday, work Friday. Next Monday, don't work. Tuesday, work. Wednesday, don't work. Thursday, work. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, don't work. Yeah, and they do that through December. So it just depends. But no, the government doesn't shut down. No, no, it's not food for thought, W. That's not going to affect it. What's going to affect it is if they have government workers that can process your stuff behind the scenes, if they have government workers that can be responsible for your reception and your escort to the airport. CWS doesn't escort people to the embassy, from the embassy. CWS doesn't escort you to the airport. They don't put you on planes. They're in America. RSC is in Kenya. They want to bring them to South Africa, probably to do some of that work, but they couldn't because the South African government is a bunch of shitheads and denied them visas. Which is their right. It's their prerogative. They don't have to give them visas. But they were just being to be obstinate, to piss the Americans off. There was no reason to deny that. But the South Africans are right. There's no special category for that sort of visa work. Anyway, so that, and also what Mariska is saying is the determination. Whether the determination plays a role or not, this is what you're talking about is not applicable. The government, if you're talking about the lockdown, yes, it does affect it. But there's no standard shutdown period for the government that comes into play here. Okay. Oh yeah, okay. Then if you want to know, email me. I'll tell you all about it. Picture notes, info about the AC government. Are you talking to me, Wendy? Chase First Banking, 6 to 7 requires a parent with a Chase checking account. There you go. See. But many banks allow a savings account from birth, as long as you have a Social Security number. Villa Boshoff, how much cash am I allowed to take in the United States? As much as you want, according to the government. You are allowed to bring in $10,000 of cash or equivalents or equivalents. So you bring a bunch of Cougarans, they're worth $10,000, without declaring it. So you can walk into the airport, and if you can stick $10,000 in your wallet or in your pocket, you can do that. And if you ask you have anything to declare, you don't have to declare that. That's what the form says. Read the form when you come in. Don't take my advice. Read the form. It says it right on the form. If you have more than $10,000, you must inform customs. Now, I understand that they don't normally put a tax on that. They just need to know to track it. But if you have like $3 million, there might be a tax. All right. But you have a limit what you can take out of South Africa. I think South Africa, you're only allowed to take $25,000 out when you go out, something like that. Rand and $10,000. I'm not an expert on that. I have the notes on it. I have the information, but I believe that's the case. And someone else, a lot of people jumped in here and answered that question previously. Okay. Yeah, okay, Helen just answered. 25,000 cash and 1 million Rand. That's Rand. Rand. And that's the government of South Africa. That's SARS. That's not the U.S. government. See, there's two things at play here. What the South African government allows you to take out and bring in, and what the U.S. government allows you to bring in. They're not the same. They're not the same. Hey, don't worry. Okay. Sent a question to the Americaners website. The respondent requested to complete the form on the link provided, which is the interest form for their site. Oh, okay. Sonette, I'm not sure why. And I'm going to cover that in a second. If I get to the end of this chat, I've got to read something from somebody I presume is one of my viewers, and I'm not going to expose their name. And they shouldn't take offense by me reading this. I'm going to make a point with it. Which location in the U.S. is most similar to Kakamas and Ograbis? Ograbis? We have lots of places like Ograbis. Parts of New Mexico, Arizona in particular, just like Ograbis. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's dry, high desert chaparral. Parts of California, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Can I assume that the people who filled in with signatures that they'll be processed and ready to go in 3 months will be processed first? No, you can't assume anything. We have people here that waited 8 months to be processed to put the stuff in February in email. They just got processed on the 10th of October, 9 days ago, 8 months. And people who came in August and submitted stuff, and they're already in the States. You can't make any assumptions, Madeline. We don't know the methodology, and it's not being shared. And I have contact with people in the U.S. government, some of them, and none of them are explaining how. I also have contact with Amerikaners. Yeah, so you can't assume anything. We don't know the answer to that. I have to go. Thank you, Colonel. You're welcome, Yappy. Yeah, some people said 3 to 6 months have been contacted. Some said 6 to 12 months have been contacted. Some people said 0 to 3 months have not been contacted. Yep. That's why I told people not to game the system. Answer it honestly as you can. Good night, Joey. Anime Furry says, Chris, assuming much of the duplications confusion comes from Americana's website. Please quickly read my last WhatsApp sent today. Okay. All right, I'll take a look at that later. Okay. Yep, virtual West case, been waiting from the start. And Vera says she puts it 3 months, hasn't heard. You can share the layout of the Americana's website page and info if you need to. I need to digest it. People are not listening. I was here a month ago telling you fill in the Americana survey if your paperwork is ready and you're ready to go. These are the people they're processing now. Listen. Well, Stratcott, you're not listening because there's people here that never filled Americana's thing. And last week when we did this program, we had 40 or 50 people who didn't do the Americana's survey who are being processed by RSC right now. So I don't get your point. And you're also not listening to what was said earlier. Let me go back and read that again. Okay. And again, I have to independently confirm this. Where is Mad Max? Have I gotten that many messages since I opened this thing? Okay. Oh, come on. Wait, where's he at? Okay, I'm going to read this again. Spoke a while to the lady from CWSRC that phoned me. She explained that they have major bottlenecks due to interested people that did the statement of interest on the embassy website and the Amerikaner statement of interest. RSC has two departments. One works with statement of interest from the U.S. Embassy website, and RSC will get into contact, and the other department works with Amerikaner statement of interest and contact from there. And now they sit with duplicate applications, and it's causing major confusion. Now, I don't have independent verification, but that comes from Mad Max, who's never lied to me before. So, and Anime Free says, Stratcott did that. Still waiting. What's your point? My entire family, 9 people, were through the process. 2 weeks back, we were over 100 people in Pretoria from all over South. All of them did the survey. I find that hard to believe that every single one of them did the survey. Well, Stratcott, there were 3,000 people that went through there in the last 2 weeks of August, and none of them filled out a survey because it didn't exist. I don't get your point. Don't give anecdotal information unless you have some sort of confirmation from a government source that tells you that that's the basis that's going on. Because we have lots of anecdotal information that contradicts what you're saying. Yes, it seems like most people only tune in when they feel a need to, and then they drop off instead of watching all the old videos and get up to speed. Correct. And many of those people are people that say that, oh, they love the show, will watch you, and they don't watch my content. I mean, if they did, I wouldn't have had just 19,000 views yesterday. Right? This channel was competing with Newsroom 24 back in May. 4 million in May, 3.8 million in June, 3.6 million in March, or April, excuse me. All right. In-person interviews, cool. Can we use our international driver's license up until we do it in America? Are you asking, can you use international driver's license when we come over here? Well, your international driver's license is not valid in the countries issued, so it wouldn't be valid in South Africa. It's valid in other countries, so it normally would be accepted in America, provided your underlying license is still valid. If you have a valid license in South Africa, you have an international license, they're typically valid for 1 year. And so in theory, yes, but you have to get a driver's license in the state you're resident in, normally within 30 or 60 days. Every state has its own law. Pennsylvania, I believe it's 60 days. So if you live in a place and you come over as a refugee and you're still driving an international driver's license 3 months because you're too lazy to get a driver's license, you're going to get a citation. Unless they're nice. The cop will be nice. You must get a driver's license in the state that you're a resident in within a specified period of time. Now, we talked to someone who got their license the other day. Someone talked to us and they said they got their license. They didn't have to take the driving test, but they had to take the written test, which is not unreasonable. Our laws are different. You need to take a test to prove that you know the laws if you're going to live here. And you need to be able to identify the signs, unlike the Sikh driver who murdered people by doing a U-turn illegally on a highway and running into the back of people. So, and again, the driver's license are questions we've answered from the very outset. I stopped using international driver's license a long time ago. It's a scam. It's a scam. It's a way for motoring companies to make money and others. Just like passport photos. It's a scam. You need passport photos. You need a driver's license. But I rent cars all over the world on my U.S. Pennsylvania driver's license. So when I had an Ohio driver's license, it was my Ohio driver's license. But then I'm not resident in those countries. It's a short-term visit. So I hope I answered your question, Dean. What did Monica say to you? I don't see anything from Monica. Andres Muller, I see there now. Scott of Scoop will contact you when I'm settled. Okay, Andres. Thank you. When you settle what? In Antarctica? How long do I have to wait for that answer? Did Americana the day it came out, always had trust in them when everyone doubted them, going on my own. You think I'm competing with the Americanist Nexus group? I have no idea what that is. Oh, you're saying Americana people are coming on here trying to compete. I'm not competing with anybody. People don't have to listen to me. Joe Schmo gave 35 rand. You mentioned the U.S. doesn't necessarily look at criminal record. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. You heard something I didn't say. I never said that. When did I say don't look at a criminal record? I said that the U.S. doesn't necessarily trust what the police in South Africa say. And I said a criminal conviction doesn't necessarily mean you can't be a refugee. I've said that. Having a criminal conviction in America doesn't necessarily mean you can't have a security clearance. It's not a good thing. Chances are it's not good. But, you know, if you were falsely convicted, we recognize that governments around the world use courts as political weapons against their opponents. So, I mean, for instance, if you were convicted of treason in South Africa, that shouldn't stop you from putting in a refugee statement of interest if you want to come to the program. Just because the government South Africa charged with or convicted you of treason doesn't mean you committed treason. Maybe you express free speech in the minds of the United States. If you start an armed conflict, well, then that's not going to work. Okay, so I don't recall saying that. No, we do look at criminal records. I've said from the very beginning, that's why we do background checks. I had a whole video on it back in February. Second week of February, there's a video talking about background checks. Yep. In fact, I'm not going to look it up now, but you guys can go look it up. And we do checks. But there's many ways to check things. Somebody earlier said that that their fingerprints were recognized by our artificial intelligence, and they were like shocked. Like I said, we have ways of checking. America's very good investigating. We may not be good at taking action against people, but we investigate very well. People get allocated to Amerikaners, and those are the ones that the Amerikaners are screening. Exactly. It's not connected to the survey, FitNut. You're correct. That's why people... See, that's the problem with people making statements. We filled out the survey, and we're going now. Not necessarily. You are correct, FitNut. And that I can confirm from the Amerikaners. Yep. Sent my family's info through CWS. They stay in Alabama. I would love to stay with them. No reply yet. Okay. Ever since being subscribed here, I certainly do have much hope for the Afrikaners. They're unable to make it South Africa due to their biased treatment. Hey, Delmarie. Get a bigger picture at where... Yes, FitNut. Oh, that's the second part of your sentence. You think that's why they did survey? Yes. Moved to the UK, was not a refugee, and still watch your show. Well, thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Barbara. Appreciate that. But you're a minority. In more ways than one, dear. Thank you, Barbara. Varushka's out of here. Boy, you people go to bed early, man. It's only 9:47. I need to go sleep. Okay. Whoa. Whether one likes or not, the colonel said everyone goes through a background check. Yep. Think of nouns, 35 Rand. Oh, look at that, man. Hercules. Clouds are gathering. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Look at everything. Severity, consequences. Yes, we have adjudicators. So, for instance, when you do security clearances, and I've told this story before. So, when I was a young officer, a second lieutenant, and I had a soldier in my unit, as a security officer, I get the letter. He also gets a letter. I got the letter, and I called him in, and I said, hey, did you get this letter? He said, not yet. And then he got like a day or two later. I said, the Central Clearance Facility has issued an intent to revoke or deny. Now, he didn't have a clearance, so this wouldn't be revoke. It would be to deny. This is a letter of intent. In other words, they tell you they're going to deny you a clearance or they're going to pull your clearance. This is a letter of intent to deny your clearance. Why? Well, when he was 18 and in high school, went to a club, legal there at the time in Texas, wherever he was at, and he said he was propositioned by a lady. Mm-hmm. And she offered to pay him. Either he took it or he accepted what she said. He was an undercover police officer in a sting. So he was arrested for male prostitution. So, he was supposed to be the commander's driver, and that not having a clearance, you can't be the driver because you handle cryptologic equipment and ciphers and stuff like that. So you have to have a clearance. So I told him, I said, I'll help you draft a letter to explain what happened, the circumstances. He goes, no, I don't want to do that. I said, well, you realize that you'll never have a security clearance. You'll never be able to get a job in the U.S. government that that requires a clearance, which will limit your employment capability in the future. He goes, I don't want to do it. And he explained to me what happened, and he just didn't want to do it. I said, well, it's not a big deal. I'll help you write the letter. So, yeah, anyway, I'm telling you that all things being equal, had he explained the situation, he was 18, he was in high school, he was joking around, she took it seriously, if that was true, because that's what he explained to me, then explain it. An adjudicator will look at all the circumstances. If he'd been 35 and he was married, or just 35, and living in a house, and that happened in a club, they wouldn't forgive it. You're an adult, you know better. No. But an 18-year-old, that's like, have you ever done illicit drugs? Well, I was 16, high school, I smoked weed. Okay, I don't like that. I don't do drugs, never done drugs. But an adjudicator would look at that and say, youthful indiscretion. Do you still smoke? No. Have you ever been turned up positive in your analysis? No. You've been arrested for it? No. All things being equal, you're probably not going to do it again. You learned a lesson. We'll give you a clearance. It's the same thing with this. Like I said, did you really commit treason? No, you're just expressing yourself, and the government went after you because they didn't like what you had to say. So anyway, all things being equal. So yes, and you're 100% on, Anime. They do the full person look at it. Last screen on your WhatsApp confirms it's on Americana's webpage. Confirms what's on Americana's webpage? Yeah. Individuals who meet all the above criteria and would like to be considered for referral to the U.S. Refugee Admissions Program should either list their contact details with the Amerikaners above or complete the statement of interest form on the U.S. Mission to South Africa website, but not both. And it's in all bold. Yep. If you already submitted a statement of interest form via the U.S. Mission to South Africa, there's no need to resubmit. There you go. That's what I'm saying. That's what I've said. Thank you for that, Mad Max. Exactly what I've been saying. And that's helpful. Okay. See, I don't go to the website of the Amerikaners. I just talk to them occasionally. It's quite easy to get your license U.S. Husband did his learners on Wednesday, license on Thursday. Boom! Shakalaka. Case closed. Monica Heyman. Yes, society works here. I guess because South Africans expect things never to work, they're like, it's going to take forever. No. Again, I don't even remember if did I go online and schedule it? Or no, I don't think I did that. I think what happened is I went online and printed the form out. That's what it was. I went online, printed the form out when I had my Ohio license, because now I'm a resident here. See, when I was active duty, it's a special legal status. Technically, I'm not really here, so they can't tax me in the state. They couldn't take money from my pay because I'm a resident of Ohio. Only Ohio can tax me. I can only vote in Ohio. I don't have to have my driver's license from there, but I can. And so I drove around for 30 years with an Ohio driver's license, not in states I didn't live in, even though I lived in them technically. So I filled out the paperwork I print online. I went to the driver's license and testing center, which is in a shopping mall building that they've rented, they've leased. And I went there. I walked in. There are like 18 or 20 or 30 windows where they take your picture and issue a license right there. Most of them were empty. It was not that busy. And then a whole bunch of processing, even more, like 40 tables where they process people. There's a big waiting area. There's like 1 or 2 people waiting. I grabbed the number or put my name down. They called me. A few minutes later, I went over, gave her the information, handed her my driver's license. She took it. She goes, okay. And she said, go sit over there. And a few minutes later, I got called. I went over and gave them the stuff. They asked me, I'm a veteran, so they put veteran on here. So it has veteran on it says veteran on here, big American flag. Am I an organ donor? Yes, I'm an organ donor, so organs are on there. Someone deserves these sexy eyes when I'm gone. No, organ donor. And and they took my photograph and boom, I was done. I spent less than 20 minutes in that place, if I recall correctly, and got my driver's license issued the same day I walked in. Didn't have to take a test because I had a stateside license and they recognized the driving test I don't have to take it. So on Facebook, someone said they have been told by RC that the program is closed. Okay, I hear that too. Yeah, no, I got no evidence of that. If I get confirmation of that, rather than just rumor, I'll tell you immediately. We've been waiting 10 weeks for a team's interview without any further contact. Well, I would be stressed too, Sparks. I got you on that one. Good night, Fitnut. Americana said in the form, if you've been contacted already, someone else don't fill in the form. Exactly, but people still do it anyway. Chris really tries to accommodate a lot, even from non-members. Please take this week and rewatch the Substack. Yeah, there you go. Clouds are gathering, yep. It's a single lady as well, going to be on solo. Cool. Well, it's not about making your life better. It's about surviving. That's what it's about. Then you can make your life better when you survive. Cowboy Hat says Destine Cup. Okay. It's raining in Brits. Okay, cool, Andre. Good luck to all of you going for your interviews. Wish you the best. Hey, Kathy, what's going on? Amazing, isn't it? There's more functioning license plate machines. There are more functioning license plate printing machines at that place where I got my driver's license 6 years ago than in all of South Africa. The entire country is 63 million people. A town that has 18,000 people has more live driver's license printing machines. And they're proper. They're not just, not something you spit out of a printer. I mean, this has holograms in it. It's protected. There's a holographic image of my face after you see the photograph. There's another one over here. And on the back, there's a third one. This is, And it's got barcodes, and it's got almost like a QR code. Yeah, it's got all that stuff. It's got biometric data. Yeah. Texas is bigger than South Africa. Okay. He made an online booking. It's a 15-minute test for learners, and boom, you're done. There you go. Yeah, Monica isn't amazing. Monica, are you a refugee or are you over here living? I'll start giving you crap for not coming on the program. Okay, people are taking off here. It's past everybody's bedtime. What's up with that? I haven't touched Americana's website or anything when we were past USC. There you go, Reddick. How's it going? Some people go over for a better life. Others want to go over to have a life where they don't have to look over the shoulder. Don't tell people that's why you want to come over. Tell them that last thing. You're looking over your shoulder because it isn't safe. Spark says, I've watched all your YouTube videos. Thank you for your honesty. Well, you're a busy guy, man. I've got thousands of them. I think I have 3,500 on this channel alone. Not since February, but going back to when. Are you going to catch a few waves with me when I get there, Colonel Wyatt? I don't like the water, Pretender. I'm not afraid of it. I can swim. I just find water, no, it's not natural. I'm not a duck. I'm not a seal. It's not for me. I don't like swimming in the ocean. It's salty. Don't like swimming in pools, chlorinated. Don't like swimming in lakes, dirty. You don't sleep at night. Okay, then you watch all my videos. Yeah, at least you have more than 500 likes. No, I have 497 likes. Or is this thing frozen? Oh, it is frozen. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, let me see. I didn't realize it froze. Stupid thing. Okay. Okay, 510 likes. I do have more than 500 likes. You're right. But mine was frozen. My tab froze over here. I didn't see that. Cool beans. We came as refugees about a month ago. Oh, and you haven't come on my program. So selfish. No, I'm just teasing, Monica. You have no obligation to come here. But should you want to come here and you do an anonymous one or let people know what's going on and tell your story, and you can keep whatever you want private. You've seen the videos. I mean, it's helping people. It really does help people. So anyway, I'm very busy this week, though. Conscious Carol and I are trying to schedule a stream. So Viking Colonel don't like swimming. Yes, we don't swim in the water. We sail through it. No, Dean, Erie, Pennsylvania is on the lake, man. Let me get I'll show you. So hang on a second here. Maps. No, I don't want to live in Erie, Pennsylvania. It's kind of isolated from my perspective. Closest big town is going to be Cleveland. Yeah, that's a long way off, too. Or Buffalo. It's kind of split. So here you go. I'll show you. So it's on Lake Erie, and Lake Erie has that wind effect. You get lots of snow and cold wind up there. So people are saying they don't like that stuff. So that's why. So here's Erie, Pennsylvania, okay? You got Cleveland in the bottom left-hand corner down here. And the upper right side, you have Buffalo and the Niagara Falls up there. And you see Lake Erie. Erie is right here in the middle. Right there. It's way off the beaten path. That is not a major route. There's traffic there, I-90. But, I mean, Erie is, it's look at that. It's a, so, anyway. There you go. So, that's the town. It's not that big. So, downtown Erie. Okay, so now let's take a look at what it says about Erie, Pennsylvania, okay? And how large it is. I got a headache. Erie, PA. Okay, it is a population of 94,000, so it's not a tiny town, okay? It's been populated since the 18th century. 1753 it was settled, okay? It's away from the mountains. Let me see. Yeah, so here's a map of Pennsylvania. I'll show you this, okay? So you can look on the left in the center here. You see where my arrow's going around? Like that's the Appalachian Mountains that curve through Pennsylvania. So to the east of you, got a lot of flatlands. There's some hills in here. I live over here. This is York County, right there. I live over here. There you go. So Erie's way up here in the top left-hand corner where you see my mouse move, if you can see the mouse. Yeah, that's where Erie's at. It's fine. I mean, why? Are you going there? You'll be fine. It's not a destination that I would have signed up to go to. But then I wouldn't have signed up to go where I'm at. I just wound up here. So you make the most of things. Yeah. So climate. It's a hot summer, humid continental climate. Okay, what else? Here you go. Winter is moderately cold with heavy lake effect snow. So, yeah. 100 years ago, the population was 93,000. Today, it's 94,000. So it's not prosperous. So Erie, Pennsylvania, 1920 grew by 40% from the previous decade. In 1930, it grew again 24% to 115,000. It grew again 1941, 16, then 130, then 138 was the peak in 1960. Since 1960, the population of Erie, Pennsylvania has declined from 138,000 to 94,000. That means over 40,000 residents have left. Every decade since the 1960s, it's lost population. 6.7%, 7.8%, 8.7%, 4.6%, 1.9%, and 6.8%. If you want to buy something cheap, maybe that's the place to go. But obviously, it's not a place that's prospering. People don't leave places that are doing well. They don't go, oh, look at this, man. Mallorca. Look how wonderful it is. I'm going to leave. They leave because they can't afford it, but people don't leave a place that's succeeding. I have MS, so I don't like snow and cold. Oh, yes. Hey, Hans, how's it going? I haven't seen you there. Start documenting your experience. You'll need letters from employers describing your experience as well as your qualifications. They won't take it for one, but they'll deduct hours. Huh? What does Spark say? Been 10 weeks now since our team's meeting. Can only pray they won't call for the next step. Okay, what's that got to do documenting things? If you're denied for whatever reason, will you be notified? That's after all the interviews and medicals. I don't know the answer to that, Yaku Sneeman. Don't know the answer to that. I think they have a moral obligation, especially if you've been processed, to tell you you've been denied. But I don't know anyone that's legitimately claimed they've been denied. I know people have been told that they have dual nationality and they can't process them. That's different than being denied. Denied is you went through the process, you got called, you got interviewed, you have an application after being interviewed, you did the medicals, and then you got denied. Or before you said, no, you can't do it, you're not eligible. That's denied. To me, if you send a statement of interest in, they say, and ask you a question saying, are you a dual national? And they say, well, we can't process it. Then you can call that deny. I've got an email from somebody that sent me that yesterday or last night. I'm answering their question. And it's not a good answer for them. They're not going to like it, but I can't do anything for them. Who likes bribe rookies? So when my husband, his daughter, and I wanted to leave, they declined us and had taken our money. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, Wendy, but there's no money for this program. Who took your money? When my husband's daughter and I wanted to leave South Africa, they declined us and had taken our money. What are you talking about? There's no money. What are you talking about, Wendy? That was 5 minutes ago you put that in. Who took your money? There's no money involved in this program. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? There's no such thing. There's no money. This is a completely free program. Completely free. Oh, it's always good to have a letter from a previous employer, as long as you left on good terms. You don't want a nasty letter. They don't really call your reference due to time. I would, Madeline. The time. Do you think I can't wait 6 hours? You think I can't get up at 8 o'clock in the morning to call somebody when it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or 2 o'clock in the afternoon? Come on. Oh, Home Affairs, Wendy. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, I can't speak for South Africa's corrupt government. Sorry, Wendy. That's why I was asking for clarity. Thank you. Yeah, this is free, but not South African services. Yeah, no, that's yeah. Gotcha, Wendy. Sorry. Thank you. That's why I was asking for clarification. Yeah, no. If I'm hiring you, you can bet your bippy that I will check your references and I will talk to people. Now, if I'm hiring somebody from overseas, I may not put credence in some things, but I'll listen. People have different work standards and different work ethics in different countries, but you can bet your bippy, and I will check your resume and I will check your CV. Lake Erie is beautiful. Lake Erie is not what we're talking about, Virtual Western Cape. We're talking about the town of Erie, Pennsylvania. Corday is waiting for flight details. Congratulations. Wow, we've been at this 2 hours, guys. Cheers. Thank you for your insight. Almost time to go collect crab. It's not lunch, it's my dinner. Enjoy it and post in the short show. This is what we're missing out on. Oh, actually, I have a video to show you guys from last night from the parade. Let me see if I can't find a video here real quick to show you from the parade. That's pretty cool. Hang on a second here, guys. I got a lot of pictures from last night. I'm going to find a video from last night. Whoops, that's not what I want. There we go. Here's one that's 30 seconds. No, that's not the one I want. Okay, here you go. 43 seconds. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Anyway, so that's I got a bunch of those videos from last night. So that's last night at the parade. This is the Farmers Fair. So here's my guys handing out candy to kids. Anyway, yeah, so that was last night. That's what I did from 5 o'clock and then went back to the restaurant afterwards. Yeah, anyway, yeah, I'm sure South African employers don't give letters of reference, but that doesn't mean people can't call them and ask about you. Whether they answer the question or not, it's a different story, okay? If you can get a letter, that's great, if it's a good letter, all right? Okay, so, all right, cool. Time for me to wrap up then, folks. 2 hours, never realized it was that long. We got 375 people still here. Hit the like button if you don't mind. Thank you. Let me just see if anything else came in on that account. Hang on a second here. Okay. Okay, I did hear from that person. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. I got Food Socks help. I got a request here. Okay. So, well, now somebody sent me emails. I can't promise anything. This is, again, I said this is not a program to feed South Africa. It'll be up to Carl's discretion. This is a program, and I even offered to pay for the cost of it, along with one person offered to support it. It's a program to help the refugees specifically. I can't support 35 million poor South Africans. And I don't mean to sound heartless, but I'm not a wealthy person, and Carl has a business. He can't support 35 million poor South Africans, but he does a lot for the people who are suffering. I will send that message on to Carl, but that doesn't look like we're talking about refugees. So, and it was only refugees who found themselves in a bind. All right. Okay. All right, guys. Cool. You can hear the jubilant atmosphere. Yeah, it was pretty cool. My renewed passport took 2 weeks at Brits. Well, that's pretty good. Cool. All right, everybody. We're out of here. Thanks. Be sure to hit the like button and take care of yourselves. All right. Appreciate you being here. It's a pleasure as always. Thanks, Chris. Been watching your content since February. I'm up to date with the news and refugee literate. Thank you, Julia. And thank you for your membership for 7 months. Okay. All right, guys. Take care. I'm not done. I've got to finish writing a termination letter here for somebody. I had to do that. I had to write a termination letter firing somebody for underperformance. Not my favorite thing, but leaders have to do the hard things. So anyway, it sucks, but anyway. All right, guys. See ya. Thanks for being here. Cheers.